Welcome back. I am absolutely thrilled you're joining me for today's explainer, because we are going on a journey right into the very center of a truly fascinating European nation. We'll be looking at how geography, deep historical roots, and incredible local traditions all interweave to create a society that's as dynamic today as it was centuries ago.
But to kick things off, let me pose a little trivia question to you. What country gave us the elegant waltz, what is widely considered the world's oldest national flag, and perhaps most importantly, the absolute ultimate chocolate cake? Keep those in mind, because the answer holds a massive treasure trove of cultural wonders.
Well, if you guessed the Republic of Austria, you hit the nail right on the head. In today's explainer, we are putting Austria and its deeply cosmopolitan capital city of Vienna firmly under the microscope. We're going to explore how this highly developed, German-speaking nation of just over 9 million people punches way, way above its weight in global culture and history.
Hey guys, welcome to the ultimate guide to the world.
We're on a mission here, unlocking the hidden, fascinating secrets behind every single nation on Earth.
Country Wiki. Okay, let's dive into this. Think of this agenda as our travel itinerary for today. Number 1, the heart of Europe. 2, people, language, and culture. 3, a taste of Austria. 4, iconic landmarks and nature. And we'll wrap it all up with number 5, Austria at a glance.
Let's start right at the top. The heart of Europe, a strategic crossroads.
To really understand Austria, you've got to look at its position on the map. It's a totally essential historical and geographic crossroads. I mean, it's entirely landlocked, right? But it shares its borders with 8 different sovereign nations. You've got Germany, Italy, Switzerland, Liechtenstein, the Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, and Slovenia. For centuries, this incredibly strategic position made Austria the very center of the vast Austro-Hungarian Empire. And look, that isn't just fun trivia. Having 8 neighbors means Austria has basically been this massive cultural melting pot and a vital transit route between Eastern and Western Europe for a very, very long time.
Now, what's truly staggering about Austria's topography is that a whopping 70% of it is covered by the Alps. These mountains dictate almost everything here. They shape the local climate, they dictate where people can actually settle, which, by the way, is exactly why the population is so highly concentrated in the eastern lowlands like the Vienna Basin. And, of course, the mountains are the reason Austria is an absolute global powerhouse when it comes to winter sports and alpine tourism.
And speaking of history, okay, check out this legend from the year 1191. According to tradition, during a fierce battle in the Third Crusade, the white tunic of Duke Leopold V of Austria became just completely spattered with blood. But when he finally took off his white sash, it revealed this pristine white band underneath. And just like that, the striking red-white-red color combination was born. It was immediately adopted as his banner. And today, Austria flies what is considered one of the oldest national flags in the entire world. Wild, right?
Moving right along to Section 2, people, language, and culture, the Austrian identity. So, transitioning from the physical map to the demographic reality, linguistically, German is overwhelmingly the dominant official language. It's spoken by about 88.6% of the population. But hey, don't let that massive percentage fool you into thinking Austria is some monolithic culture. Because of its past as a huge multinational empire and its modern role as an economic hub, you have these incredibly vibrant communities speaking Turkish, Serbian, and Croatian. In fact, in certain eastern states like Burgenland, Croatian and Hungarian are actually formally recognized as official minority languages.
And this diversity absolutely extends into their rich cultural traditions. On one hand, you have the absolute height of imperial elegance, traditional folk dances like the Landler, which eventually evolved into the world-famous Viennese waltz. You've also got the beautiful traditional Alpine dress you see at local festivals. But then, fast forward to the winter Advent season, and you might stumble into the literally terrifying Krampus run. Krampus is this gruesome horned figure from Alpine folklore, and he's meant to drive away the evil spirits of winter. Contrast that whole terrifying scene with the joyful sounds of yodeling echoing through the Alps, and you really get a sense of just how wide-ranging and fun Austrian culture really is.
All right, now for my favorite part, Section 3, A Taste of Austria, Culinary Heritage.
Austrian cuisine is basically this brilliant tale of 2 regions. On one hand, we have the really hearty Alpine food of the mountainous Tyrol region. We're talking dishes like Tiroler Grostel, which is this heavy, incredibly satisfying potato and meat hash topped with a fried egg, or a Speckknödel, these rich bacon dumplings. This is literally food designed to fuel hardworking farmers in the freezing cold.
But then contrast that with the legacy of the imperial court over in Vienna. That gives us these sophisticated, delicate masterpieces. The world-famous Sachertorte, a dense chocolate cake layered with apricot jam, and the flaky, cinnamon-spiced Apfelstrudel. It is just a fantastic culinary contrast.
And honestly, nothing brilliantly illustrates the pinnacle of Austrian culinary perfection quite like the Wiener Schnitzel. This is the undisputed national dish, folks. It's a wafer-thin veal cutlet, expertly breaded and pan-fried until it reaches absolute golden, crispy perfection. Served super simply with just a wedge of lemon and a side of potato salad, it's basically a masterclass in how simple ingredients, treated with immense respect and tradition, can create something totally unforgettable.
Now wash that down with some coffee. But in Austria, coffee isn't just a drink you grab on the go, it's a full-blown institution. The Viennese coffee house, or coffee house, is so deeply vital to the culture that UNESCO actually recognized it as an intangible cultural heritage. These are elegant, slow-paced spaces where intellectuals and artists have literally gathered for centuries to read, debate, and eat pastries. And here's a totally fun historical twist. Legend has it that the very first coffee house in Vienna was actually started way back in the 17th century by an Armenian spy named Deodato. You can't make that up.
Which brings us to Section 4, Iconic Landmarks and Nature, Sights to See.
We'll start our visual tour right in Vienna with the spectacular Schönbrunn Palace. Now, this was the summer residence of the Habsburg rulers, and it just perfectly combines staggering imperial architecture with these magnificent sweeping gardens. It's a true total work of art that really shows off the immense wealth and power of the historic Austro-Hungarian Empire, right down to the incredibly carefully manicured, biodiverse plant life covering its grounds. Moving out of the city and into the countryside, we find Melk Abbey. This is a centuries-old sanctuary sitting high above the famous Danube River. And remember, the Danube is the second longest river in all of Europe, making it a super vital waterway for Austria. Melk Abbey stands as the Wachau Valley's most magnificent landmark. It's a sprawling, gorgeous complex that really highlights the deep historical influence of Roman Catholicism in the entire region.
And then, of course, there is the raw, crisp beauty of Austrian nature itself. Take the Grossglockner, sitting majestically in the high Tauern Range. At 3,798 meters, which is nearly 12,500 feet for us Americans, it is the highest peak in Austria. It so perfectly represents the massive alpine environment that covers the majority of the country. It acts as a haven for unique wildlife, like the chamois, and offers some of the most spectacular hiking and skiing you will find anywhere in the world.
Okay, let's pull it all together in Section 5, Austria at a glance, summary and takeaways. So what's the big defining takeaway from Austria's macroeconomic data? Really, it's the sheer efficiency and development of this nation. Within its relatively compact area of just under 84,000 square kilometers, which is divided into 9 federal states, or Bundesländer, Austria supports a population of 9.17 million people. But look at that economic output, a GDP of over $521 billion. It's a highly advanced, service and manufacturing-driven free market economy that offers its citizens literally one of the highest standards of living in the world.
But look, beyond all the hard data and economic stats, if there is literally one word you need to remember from this explainer, it's this: Gemütlichkeit. Now, there isn't a perfect English translation for it, but it encapsulates this profound state of warmth, friendliness, good cheer, and just a deep sense of belonging. It's the thread that ties together those communal Sunday dinners, the friendly toast of Prost over a local beer, the lingering hours spent in a coffee house, and the incredibly welcoming hospitality of those Alpine villages.
Which leaves me with just one final question for you guys. What part of Austria's Gemütlichkeit do you want to experience first? I mean, is it conquering a massive Alpine peak, eating a decadent slice of Sachertorte in a Vienna cafe house, or maybe exploring a sprawling imperial palace? I really hope this explainer has sparked your curiosity to learn more about this unbelievable country at the heart of Europe. Thanks so much for joining me today, and keep exploring.